Content.
Yeah, the online safety bill is being published today. The new laws will see the UK communications regulator Ofcom given power to issue fines or to block sites that break the new rules. But there are worries that it doesn't go far enough when it comes to children. Well, let's speak now to a parent who's been concerned about all of this. Ioannis Dekas is a father of 4, which let's just start by saying I salute you, my goodness me, ranging from the ages of 10, I think, to 21.
Yeah.
And you have worries. You welcome the move. You think this is a good bill. Just tell us, first of all, why you're concerned about and you believe there is a need for a change to the law.
So our story was, it was birthed from a very personal experience where during lockdown, one of our children accessed online pornography. And we had a phone call from the school. It was unfortunately on his school device. And so it put us as a family into obviously a huge spin with lots of consequences, lots of discussions, lots of difficult discussions. I remember actually coming back from central London on the train one day reading, now this is a number of years ago, that there would be a law that would require age verification for children to access commercial pornographic websites. And I thought to myself as a father, this is a really great thing. I'm excited about this, only to discover when we had this deeply personal experience that this law was never enforced. And that set us on a path of action to actually see what we as a family could do in this regard. So I'm very delighted about the announcement today and the fact that this is moving forward. But I am deeply concerned about timescales and the way that affects and actually leaves children.
Meaning how long this will take to actually come about, and how long do you think?
Well, it's difficult for me to say. I'm not a...
You want it done now,
I want it done now, but the reality is probably 4 years from now.
I mean, Ioannis, look, I share your concerns as a mother of kids as well, and, you know, welcome the changes. But I also think, is it just a case that the genie's out of the bottle? I mean, how on earth are they going to enforce this? You close up one avenue and the material's shared in another avenue. I just wonder whether or not, I mean, it doesn't mean we shouldn't try, but I do worry that it's going to be an impossible job.
I recognise the complexities around the issue, and I also understand that if children actually really wanted to access this, they'd always be able to get around it. But we do age verification in a number of other areas. We do age verification with alcohol, we do age verification with gambling, and that list goes on. This is completely unregulated territory.
Yeah, and surely it would strike me that you could falsify that age verification. How would you actually do it? You know, what is your date of birth? Show me some document, whatever. You could find somebody else's document and do that. So,
yeah, it's very possible to do that. Although government research recently told us that 60% of 11 to 13-year-olds that access pornography do so accidentally. Now,
60%.
60%, that's a very large number. So I'm thinking at least this would be a barrier for some children to access content that they really shouldn't. It's really harmful.
Yeah, it is harmful. And that's the key, isn't it? I mean, just talk to me about what your concerns are for your young boys' minds, for their experiences of real life. You know, what are the harms that you're worried about? Again,
well, just on the personal experience we had in our home, the change in behaviour that we saw in our son. He's an outgoing. Suddenly there was a level of anger. There was peer conflict with his siblings. There was especially a level of anger against my wife. And we noticed this change in behaviour was such a stark change that we recognised immediately something was wrong. We thought it was, you know, COVID and the fact that he was at home and the loss of friends and everything else, until we had this phone call from the school. And we then realised that due stress that this had actually put him under. That's only one of the things I think that children go through. Research shows that this obviously puts a lot of strain and actually brings things into children's lives which are difficult to cope with. It objectifies women in a way that I would not like my boys to think of.
And once seen, can't be erased.
Can't be erased. You know, I want my children to grow up in an environment where honour and respect and consent in terms of intimacy is something that is respected and understood in a way that, you know, that I think brings life. I mean, just